We have never wanted more from our relationships than we do right now. Think about that. In our parents, certainly my grandparents' age, a companionable marriage, and throughout the world, this is still true in many cultures, a companionable marriage is plenty good enough. Two people in harness, raising kids, paying their taxes, supporting each other through illness, good enough. If my mother had gone to her mother and complained that her husband, who was a good provider and a good father and a nice man, didn't drink, didn't beat anybody, didn't cheat, but they just weren't close. They hadn't had sex in 15 years. And there was just nothing that they shared. But what do you think she would have been told? Go home to your good man. Or, Ma, I feel demeaned by him in public. There are lots of ways in which he's controlling and disrespectful. Go back to your good man. But nowadays, it is precisely these, I call them quality of life issues, that lead to divorce. We want more. We need more than just to be two good teammates in harness, raising the kids and paying the bills. We need to be lovers. We have moved from a companionable marriage to a truly intimate marriage, and that is historically brand new. Marriage was never built for the kind of intimacy that we're asking for. That was for affairs. Go back and read all of the novels in Western civilization, and passion, since the days of King Arthur, was for infidelity, not marriage. But we want to be lifelong lovers. We want long walks on the beach, holding hands, and heart-to-heart talks, and great sex in our 60s and 70s and beyond. But we don't act like lovers. And there's a reason why we don't act like lovers. We don't act like lovers because our new demand for a truly intimate, lifelong lover relationship flies in the face of our culture. We do not live in a relationally wise, relationally cherishing culture. We live in a culture that gives lip service to love. Yeah, it's great in a Hallmark card, but no. Our sons, daughters, non-binary kids do not learn the basic of how to conduct yourself in a relationship in school, in the culture, and in most of our families growing up. We don't know how to do it. That's where I come in. Part of what we've created is a relational technology, a set of skills that you should have learned in elementary school that work better than, for example, proving that you're right and your partner's wrong. Good luck with that. Relational technology, how to actually do it. Why aren't we teaching our kids how to do it? Because we don't value it. In the binary of patriarchy, intimacy itself is coded as feminine, and we do with it what we do with many things feminine. We idealize it in principle, fuzzy Hallmark card, feel-good rom-coms on TV, but we don't really cherish it. We idealize it in principle and devalue it in fact. So what is this culture I keep talking about? For 40 years, I have fought against patriarchy, and as a relationship expert, I have detailed the costs of patriarchy on our relationship to ourselves and to each other. All right, what the hell am I talking about? What is patriarchy? We are fish, and patriarchy is the water we swim in. My friend Gabor Mate tells a story. There's an old fish, and he's swimming by, he sees two young little fish, and as he swims by, he goes, "How's the water, boys?" And the two young fish look at each other and go, "Water?" Patriarchy is the water, and we are the fish. And after 50 years of feminism, patriarchy has loosened a little bit for girls and women, hardly at all for boys and men. So what am I talking about? I make a distinction between what I call political patriarchy, which is not my primary interest, and psychological patriarchy, which is. Political patriarchy is simply the oppression of one group of people, women, by another group of people, men. It's sexism, pure and simple. Decreased access to resources, differences in pay, controlling legislation, it's more or less extreme depending on what culture you're in. Men on the top, women inferior. So psychological patriarchy is a dynamic that we all live with, and it's a dynamic that doesn't have to be housed in particular bodies. Psychological patriarchy can play out between two men. It can play out between a mother and a child. It can play out inside your head as shame and grandiosity. I'll teach you that. I talk about 3 rings of psychological patriarchy, 3 concentric rings. Here's one. I call it the Great Divide. You take a whole human being, you take the qualities of a whole human being, strength, compassion, weakness, serenity. You draw a line down the middle of the paper and you go, all the qualities to the right-hand side of the line are masculine, all the qualities to the left are feminine. Olga Silverstein calls this the having process, H-A-L-V-I-N-G. Carol Gilligan calls it the gender binary. And we all know what goes where. I don't have to belabor that. Strength, competence, domination on the masculine side, accommodation, connection, feeling on the feminine side. So we're split. One whole human being becomes 2 half human beings, masculine, feminine. The second concentric ring is the relationship between these two. Are each of these 2 halves separate but equal? Under patriarchy, they are not. Masculine qualities are exalted, feminine qualities are devalued. As Nancy Chodorow wrote back in the 70s, masculine identity is basically a negative identity. You ask a boy what makes a good man, it's not being weak, not being a girl. The basic relationship under patriarchy of masculine to feminine is contempt. The masculine holds the feminine in contempt. This is ugly, but we have to face it. And I call this the dance of contempt. So ring 1, one person, 2 halves. Ring 2, this half up, this half down. Ring 3, what for many of you will be the most disturbing part. Whoever is on the one down, quote unquote, feminine side of the equation must protect the disowned fragility of whoever is on the one up, masculine side of the equation, even while being hurt by that person. The feminine, quote unquote, regulates the masculine, does not speak truth to them. I call this the core collusion. Whoever's on the masculine side, perpetrators of all stripe, are not to be confronted but protected. How are we to be close to one another inside this framework? And the answer is, you can't. The exalted masculine, devalued feminine plays out all over the place, between 2 races, between 2 peoples living side by side with each other, inside your head, as the play of grandiosity, I'm better than, and shame, I'm inferior. The dynamics of superiority, inferiority play out in all sorts of ways. Inside your skull, between you and your partner, between you and your kids, between races, between peoples, between you and your relationship to the planet at large. There is no platform for true intimacy here. Healthy self-esteem, which in our culture, for the most part, has to be taught. I had to be taught it. Means coming up from the one down of shame and down from the one up of entitlement, contempt, grandiosity, into same as. I am neither better nor worse than the person to the left of me, the person to the right of me. I can't be. That's a lie. My essential worth and dignity as a human being cannot be added to, it cannot be subtracted from, it can't be earned, it can't be unearned. It's here. I'm a human being. We know this in principle. It's the bulwark of democracy. One person, one vote. Everybody equal. All equal under the law. We know this in medical ethics. People are triaged based on need, not status. We know this when we deal with young children. If little Tommy's an ADHD nightmare and Sally's a star student, you don't value Sally over Tommy, pain in the neck as he may be. But we don't live this way, and our culture isn't built this way. We live in a constant mirror of one up, one down, who's on top, who's on the bottom. You cannot love from the one up superior position. You cannot look down your nose at someone and truly love them respectfully at the same time. You cannot love from the one down inferior position. You cannot be intimate with someone and manage them codependently at the same time. You have to tell them the truth. Many, many couples are caught in the core collusion. I don't like how you're treating me, but I don't dare challenge you on it because it ain't going to go very well. If you're distant and I complain about you, you get more distant and now it's my fault because I'm a complainer. If you rage and I tell you I don't want to be treated like that, you escalate on the spot and rage even more. If you can't get through to your partner, get help, and get help that helps. Get an RLT therapist who will take your side. But the one down have to come up and the one up have to come down. Love demands democracy. Same as, neither better nor worse than the person you're with. We have a saying in relational life work: we want the mighty to melt, we want the weak to stand up. Toe to toe, eyeball to eyeball, learning to speak your truth with love. Under patriarchy, you can either be accommodating, connected, quote unquote, feminine, or you can be powerful, dominant, competent, assertive, quote unquote, masculine, but you can't be both at the same time. One of the skills that I talk about that you can learn here on YouTube is speaking up for yourself with love. A lot of times what happens is the person moves from the one down, they get fed up, and now they have their voice, and it's like, God damn it, I'm going to tell you. No. We can be more skilled than that. Honey, I love you. This ain't working. We're a team. What do we need to do to make this better? Stand up for yourself and cherish your partner at the same time. One of my old teachers saw my work, a demo with a couple, and described it as deconstructing patriarchy one couple at a time. Patriarchy isn't built for intimacy. It's built for stability. If you want intimacy, women, heterosexual women who have been trained to be accommodating and resentful and indirect and take charge of the relationship covertly and all that. No. Open your mouth, tell the truth. Whoever's in the one up, and there are many role reversals where but we'll say the guy needs to come down, open his ears, open his heart, respond, yield, give. In order to be the lifelong lovers that we long to be, we have to act like lovers. And that means moving beyond traditional gender roles. In the traditional setup, heteronormative women need to speak up, but with skill and love, and men need to come down and open up and learn how to be more relational. They both need to learn how to be more relational. And as I say, I'm talking about it as if this is embodied in particular men and women, but in fact, these dynamics could be anywhere with anyone. Come out from under the great lie. You may be a better tennis player. You may be a better mother. You may be a better therapist, but you're not a better human being. You're imperfect and flawed, just like your partner. Great poet Auden wrote, I will love my crooked neighbor with my crooked heart. If you're down, come up. If you're up, come down. If you're a man, learn how to be vulnerable, expressive, emotional. If you're a woman, learn how to be honest, assertive, and loving at the same time. Both gender roles need to move beyond what we learn under patriarchy if we're to embrace and fully, passionately love one another. That's pioneer work. That's not just moving your marriage and your family. That's moving beyond patriarchy itself. Good luck. If you found this helpful, you can subscribe to this channel, and I will impart more of my hard-won wisdom to you. Blessings.